What is up, guys? My name is Sick Korean, and we are back on F124 Driver Career. This is Season 1, Episode 16 for the finale at Abu Dhabi. Coming up. So we are coming off a very disappointing race around Qatar. Go see that episode first if you haven't seen it yet before you see this one, where I had the pace to potentially win the race, but our third DNF in the last 4 races, due to another mechanical failure, derailed any hope of a second career victory. As I finish selecting my specialist goals for the final race of my rookie season, I'll try to bounce back strong, with my rating having taken a rather bad beating with all the recent DNFs. So unless Ferrari offers me a contract at the end of the season, it's going to be a second year at Haas for me, and therefore vital that I save the rest of the aerodynamics upgrades from the regulation changes so we have a strong base to build on for next season. Going into Abu Dhabi, Red Bull bring an upgrade and will finish with the best car, both on paper and with Verstappen having wrapped up the title in Qatar. Ferrari does have an outside chance of winning the Constructors. Going into the final race, they trail Red Bull by 31, but they would need a lot of help and Red Bull to have a very bad final race. Haas is locked into 6th in the Constructors.
Okay, mate, I'm pleased to say that our new parts have come through without any issue, so they'll be on the car, ready for the next race weekend.
Let's head to qualifying.
Everybody, it's the fastest day of the week, qualifying Saturday, and we're here in Abu Dhabi.
Check's complete. Everyone be aware, we've got a car leaving the garage.
Final run of Q1. I'm on the same set of tires.
Okay, 1 minute remaining, just 1 minute.
I set a banker lap on this set earlier. Was not a great lap, only good enough for 14th, so I'm definitely gonna have to put in a better lap here with a minute left. I took a few clicks of wing off following practice. It might compromise me a little bit here in qualifying, but it should help us significantly in the race. Down this long DRS straight, and the one following the chicane at the end of this straight.
That's just 30 seconds left in the session.
So I am finding time, nearly 2.5 tenths up. Little bit of a lockup into the chicane, but a decent exit. And now I've found 3 tenths. Although the mistake I made was in sector 3 on the first lap.
Okay, we've been pushed down to P13.
So this time is probably not indicative of where we'll end up. I ran wide out of turn 14 on the first lap, nearly hitting the wall, so we should pick up a lot of time right here. Going through the final corners, nearly 7 tenths up to the line, and that's good enough for 9th. Definitely enough to see us through. Our teammate makes it through in 13th. Verstappen tops the session, followed closely by Leclerc. So no surprises at the top of the first session.
Engines fired up, we're set.
Final run of Q2 on a new set of tires. I would definitely like to make Q3, but I'm gonna need a good lap here to do it. But this race is mostly about pride, as our constructor's position is locked in at 6th. Nothing I do or don't do here will matter at all in the constructor's fight. I could move up or down a couple positions in the driver's championship based on where I and everyone else finishes. I would like to win my rivalry with Perez. The beleaguered second Red Bull driver has not had the best season, and we actually have a chance of defeating him in the rivalry, as I have a bit of a wobble through the turn 6-7 chicane, heading on to the second DRS straight. And I definitely want to carry as much momentum as possible into my second season in F1.
Right, that's us pushed down into P15.
I don't think we have a very good chance of winning a constructor's title here at Haas, unless Hulkenberg could really step it up. But if we could develop our aero department, there's a chance I could go for a driver's title next year. At least that would be the goal. As we cross the line, and that is good enough for 8th. So we will see our way through into Q3. Our teammate is knocked out down in 14th. Verstappen tops the session. Russell in the Mercedes is eliminated in 11th, followed by both Alpines, and Albon out in 15th. Verstappen looking like he wants to put an exclamation point on the season.
Ready? Okay, let's go.
So this is our only run of Q3 on a new set of tires. Let's see how high we can qualify. There's usually grid penalties around Abu Dhabi, as component supplies are usually running a little bit thin at the end of the season. As I head down towards turn 5, I do have some traffic ahead. That's Norris in the McLaren, and he really gets in the way as I have to wait to get on the throttle. That's incredibly frustrating when they just float right in your way. So our lap is going to be a little bit compromised as we head through the turn 6-7 chicane into the second DRS zone. There is another car ahead of us. Hopefully I don't catch more traffic heading into sector 3. Can't see who it is yet. They are far enough ahead that we may not catch them, considering our lap has already been impeded by the McLaren. They run a little bit wide through the turn 13-14 double left-hander. Coming through the final corners now. It has not been a particularly good lap, and that's only good enough for 8th.
Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So we end up nearly 2.5 tenths behind Hamilton for 8th, so the impeding didn't impact us much at all. Let's head to the grid.
Welcome to the Yas Marina circuit for the finale of another thrilling Formula One season. It's been a breathtaking year, and we end it at a track that's been the scene of many glories and heartbreaks over its history. It's time to end the season in style. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The drivers will be racing here at the Yas Marina circuit through 16 corners and a lap distance of around 3.28 miles. There are a few opportunities to pass with long straights and DRS zones in 2 places, so plenty of close racing, then plenty of speed and plenty of drama to be found in the laps ahead. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Fernando Alonso, Haas, Stroll, Verstappen, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Albon, Sainz, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Hamilton, Bottas, Russell, Gasly, Joe, Sargent, and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, mate, it's the final race of the season. There's nothing to lose here, so go out there and enjoy it.
And the 5 red lights. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is underway. Get a little bit of wheel spin off the initial start, but get a very good launch in the second phase. Norris makes contact with us through the first corner, but he drops behind us and we are up 1 position, up into 4th as we chase Alonso down towards the hairpin of turn 5. We make a late lunge up the inside and lock up, trying not to make contact with Leclerc. That allows Alonso to switch back us, reclaiming 3rd. As we dump a little bit of battery and just tuck into the slipstream of Alonso. as Norris is looking a little bit feisty behind us after contact at the first corner. I take the outside line, which switches to the inside against Alonso through the chicane. In order to defend against Norris, I attacked Alonso as we are side by side heading towards turn 9. And Alonso's going to tuck in behind us, and we are up into third. So pretty good movement forward at the start of this race, as our rival Perez has moved into the lead of the race, just in front of Leclerc, as Perez looks to win his second race of the season. It would be his first win since back at Spain, which was race 7. But he'll have his hands full trying to keep that very fast Ferrari of Leclerc behind him for the entire race. Later on the second lap, Leclerc is using the DRS to attack Perez. Perez goes defensive, and Leclerc is through before the turn 6-7 chicane. And just behind that fight, I'm under pressure from Alonso in the DRS zone.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
As Alonso sneaks back through with DRS. So I'm going to use a little bit of battery and the DRS to try to keep pace with Alonso. That Aston Martin has a lot of pace today. And try to defend against Norris. Also have to watch out behind, as Stroll has just overtaken Ocon for 6th in the second Aston Martin.
Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past.
As he's another one of our rivals. As a lap later, I'm using the DRS and some battery to try to get back past Alonso for third. Alonso doesn't defend, but we run deep into turn 6, have a little bit of a lockup. And that allows Alonso to run the switch back through the chicane. Regaining third position, we are able to fend off Norris and hold on to 4th for the moment. But a missed opportunity as I misjudged the braking zone up the inside of Alonso. And Verstappen, after taking a penalty from pole position, is scything his way through the field, getting past Stroll and up into 6th. And Mark has now set a goal for us to get past Alonso, as he thinks we have the pace to catch the Aston Martin. But we are just clinging on to the DRS as we go through turn 9. We have a big snap of oversteer. And that's going to invite Norris to attack us. We go side by side. I am able to defend against Norris through turn 12. But right behind him, Verstappen is on our tail already, as I have another snap of oversteer through turn 3, as I am just overdriving the car, trying to get back into the DRS of Alonso. But having fallen out of it, I'm going to come under intense pressure now from Norris and Verstappen behind, especially running low on battery down this first DRS straight. I go defensive, but Norris has made his way through, as has Verstappen.
Might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
And there's a yellow flag ahead. Norris locks up, goes over the curb. We have to take evasive action and spin it, as Perez had been right in front of us. What happened?
Okay, just follow the safety car. Don't worry about the target now. Okay, safety car deployed. Safety car's been deployed. Watch your delta. Make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack. Okay, watch your pace. We've been informed the safety car is out, so there appears to have been an issue with multiple stock vehicles on the track.
So the race just changed on a dime through that turn 6-7 chicane. This is Perez chasing down Leclerc for the lead of the race. Leclerc goes through, Perez spins it at turn 7. Contact between him and Alonso. Evasive action taken by me. Piastri crashes into Perez. Norris clips the front wing of Perez. I spin the car trying to avoid the pileup on the exit of the corner. That seems actually like the smart move at the moment, with damage all over the place. Norris is out. I wonder if he picked up floor damage off-roading over that first corner. And I'm definitely going to take the opportunity to pit under safety car,
the pits at the end of this lap,
as I imagine most of the cars will. And we enter a very busy pit lane, into the box. And we have a reasonable stop. Let's see where we filter out. That's going to remove some of the strategy from this race, as we come out in 4th behind Leclerc, Alonso, and Verstappen. The safety car is in this lap, so let's try to get a good restart. We'll have a fairly long stint on these tires, 20 laps, but the hards are near indestructible, and we're green flag.
Okay, the car ahead's beginning to
So we're a
pull
little
away.
slow
You
on
know
the
what to do.
restart, but we dump a little bit of battery. We're close.
Okay, clear.
Let's see if we have a little bit better pace on the hards. Hamilton looking racy behind us. As I'm waiting to get full tire temps in these tires, it's almost impossible to do a warm-up behind the safety cars. We run deep into turn 5. Try to get a good exit to make up for it. Use a little bit of battery.
Okay,
It's
no
essential
issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
that we stay within the DRS of Verstappen, who's attacking Alonso for second as they go side by side through the turn 6-7 chicane. That's going to give us an opportunity to try to throw it up the inside of Alonso, but we had to take a lot of that sausage curb through the chicane, and that's going to allow Alonso to stay ahead, as now Hamilton is trying to join this battle for third as we dive around the outside of turn 9 and make a move up into third and get ourselves onto the podium for the moment. But all that battling has put us more than a second behind Verstappen. We need to close that gap down if we want to keep Alonso and Hamilton behind us. As on the next lap, Hamilton is battling Alonso for fourth. Alonso goes defensive. That pushes Hamilton to the outside of turn 6, but will give him the inside for turn 7. And the Mercedes is through up into fourth, as Alonso is trying to come back at Piastri, who had also gotten through on the last lap. I'm wondering if Alonso has some damage from that collision with Perez that brought out the safety car.
Gap to your teammate behind, 7.0 seconds.
As Alonso is still dropping through the field, we have dropped nearly 2 seconds back of
Car behind is
Verstappen,
dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well
but
done.
we've broken the DRS to Hamilton, so we're comfortably in third for the
Okay,
moment.
keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.3 seconds.
Checking in on our teammate, who has made his way up into the points, currently P9, just behind Alonso, who is fading back through the field. He must have residual damage, as he had excellent pace before that collision and safety car, as our teammate challenges him around the outside of turn 6, and then through the inside of turn 7, and up into 8, but that will give Alonso the DRS down the straight. Will our teammate be able to hold on to 8th? Alonso is challenging back up the inside, dropping our teammate back down to 9th. He's going to have to be a bit more strategic with where he overtakes Alonso on the next lap, as I find myself in a bit of no man's land. I definitely don't have the pace of Leclerc and Verstappen ahead, but I've managed to open up a 2-second gap to the Mercedes of Hamilton behind, as I'm just trying to put in consistent lap times at the moment to maintain the tires, using the battery smart to just try to maintain that 2-second gap to Hamilton so that he's not in a position to challenge us for third, and try to maintain my spot on this podium, finish out my rookie season strong, and break the bad string of luck I've had over the last several races with mechanical failures, as our teammate is once again trying to put pressure on Alonso for 8th, but he has to keep an eye on Russell in the second Mercedes behind as well, who's trying to come through. Hulkenberg goes around the outside of Alonso in a move very similar to last time, giving Alonso the DRS again. Can Hulkenberg maintain 8th this time? As ahead of them, Zhou in the Kick Sauber is having his best race of the season in 7th. As our teammate goes defensive, Alonso tries to go around the outside of turn 9 as they remain side by side through the turns 10 and 11. And Hulkenberg is finally able to finish off the move on the entrance to turn 12. And on the very next lap, the damaged Aston Martin is dropping even further back as he's under pressure from Russell in the second Mercedes. Alonso does have the DRS down the second straight, as all of this battling is inviting Sainz in the Ferrari to try to come through and get into the points, as Russell finishes the move around the outside of turn 9 and improves up into
Okay, you
9th.
need to push now. Use the overtake button for more power. We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
With 10 laps still to go, we're maintaining the gap to Hamilton at 2.4 seconds, falling a little bit further back of the leaders, and we are definitely not pitting. That was with the 2 stop that I'd considered before the race, I have it set to mediums in case there's another safety car, but with our tires only at 20% wear and 10 laps to go, we are definitely staying out, as we've been able to maintain this gap fairly easily, as Sainz in the second Ferrari is now attacking Alonso, trying to drop the Aston Martin all the way out of the points. And Russell has managed to clear our teammate, dropping our teammate back down to 9th, as our teammate tries to fight back around the outside of turn 9. But Russell has the better line and will maintain 8th, as they both try to chase down Zhou in 7th. But it's Zhou in 7th having the race of his career so far, putting Ocon in the Alpine in 6th under pressure, clearing the Alpine and improving up to 6th. And the Kick Sauber has somehow found pace around this circuit.
Gap to your teammate behind, 18.6 seconds.
And with 7 laps to go, and still just maintaining a 2-second gap to Hamilton and the Mercedes behind, as the top two are pulling away, Leclerc and Verstappen.
Okay, gap to the car ahead, 7.0 seconds.
And unless those two start having a very intense battle, we have no hope of catching them. We just don't have the car or the pace today. But I would be very happy to capture my 7th podium of the season in the final race, as Russell in the Mercedes has caught Zhou, and Russell with the DRS makes short work of the much more inferior Kick Sauber, dropping him down to 7th. And 1 lap later, Zhou's under pressure from Sainz in the Ferrari, and the second Ferrari driver is easily able to make his way past, trying to chase down Russell for 6th. And our teammate, who should also be able to chase down Zhou, has found himself falling behind Gasly in the Alpine and dropping down to 10th. And Perez isn't far away from climbing back into the points after his spin in 13th, as this has been a relatively quiet race for me in the second stint. Just trying to maintain that gap to Hamilton. I don't have the pace of the cars in front. I've actually been thinking about what I'm going to do at the end of the season. I think if that Ferrari seat is offered, I'm going to take the Ferrari seat, but if it's not open, then I'm going to stay here at Haas and try to win a driver's championship here in my second season. I would love to win a constructors as well.
Oh, mate, great stuff. You hit that target. That sets us up nicely for the rest of this race.
But I don't think I'll have enough support from my teammate to contend for the constructors title. But back to the race. At the front of the field, Leclerc is putting Verstappen under pressure for the win of the race. Leclerc tries to go around the outside into the turn 6-7 chicane. The outside turning to the inside, and the Ferrari is through. Back into the lead of the race. Verstappen will get DRS down this second DRS straight. But it looks like Leclerc has enough straight line speed to hold off the Red Bull into turn 9. Onto the final lap, and Verstappen has gotten back past Leclerc, but Leclerc will have 2 chances with the DRS as we go through turn 5, down the first DRS straight. Verstappen's gone defensive. Leclerc tries to go up the inside. He tucks into the slipstream and will go all the way around Verstappen, clearing him before they hit the chicane, laying down a marker for next season. And behind that battle, our teammate is trying to cling on to the final point as Perez comes through in a heck of a recovery drive, coming all the way from the back at the pit stop to recover 1 point from this race. As we come through the final corners, Leclerc is going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, followed by Verstappen in second, and followed a couple seconds behind that by ourselves in third. Hamilton nor Piastri were ever able to get close to us, and we find ourselves on the podium.
Wow, there it is, mate. The checkered flag, and the checkered flag on the season as well. And what a season it's been. We've had our ups and downs, but you know what? I've really enjoyed working with you, and I hope we can do it again. Nice one, mate. See you back at the pits.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory. He wins.
Well, great victory today for the final race of the season, and you take that energy with you through the end of the year, through the winter break, and it's important because your team lives off of that. You want them to deliver you the best possible car for the start of next season's campaign.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
So Leclerc and the Ferrari finishing the season very strong, giving Verstappen a little bit of a fight in the Drivers' Championship before Verstappen closed it out in Qatar. See if Leclerc and Ferrari can carry that momentum into next season. And we'll see if I can carry this kind of momentum into next season as well. Finishing strong with a 3rd place, grabbing our 7th podium of the season, including 1 win around Great Britain, and a couple podium finishes around sprint races as well, which I'm not counting in that 7. All in all, it's been a pretty strong year, as Leclerc finishes the season with the win and fastest lap. Verstappen takes 2nd, but most importantly takes home the Drivers' Championship. Our teammate falls just out of the points, down to 11th in the final race. So Hulkenberg's season doesn't end on the high note that I was hoping it would, as he ran in the points for most of that race. And Zhou in the Kick Sauber was able to pick up points in 8th. So a very good race for Zhou, who ran as high as 6th. As we take a look at the final standings, I was able to finish 5th in the Drivers with 169 points. I would call that a pretty successful rookie season. And all of the Constructors' points, minus 11, were what allowed us to finish 6th in the Constructors, Haas's best finish in the last several seasons. And I was able to win my rivalry with Perez. His spin that brought out the safety car definitely helped us in that regard. As our rating gets a nice boost with the podium, we definitely needed that after the last several DNFs with mechanical failures. Our final rating of 78. I feel like we could have got a rating of 80 by the end without that string of bad luck at the end of the season, as we finished 6 percentage points ahead in recognition of Hulkenberg to close out the season, and we're able to accomplish all but one of our specialist goals as we prepare to head back to headquarters to see what our future holds for next year. So it's either Ferrari or Haas, depending on what's open. As a Ferrari Academy driver, I feel like I have to give it 1 more year. Yeah, and Ferrari's not available to us right now. Maybe if we'd have got that rating up to 80. So Aston Martin or Mercedes are a tempting target and would definitely be an upgrade over Haas. However, I think I really want to give a shout to winning a Drivers' Championship with the American team. And with all the experience I gained this year, and with the development that we have going on the car, and the upgrades we saved, I think we have a chance to win a championship next year. So let's see what kind of offer our agent drummed up for us, so we can sign a 1 or 2 year contract and set our target rating goal as high as 86. I think 85 is a reasonable goal to reach for. And I definitely only want to stay here for 1 more season, as after that, if we don't win a championship, we're definitely going to one of the bigger teams. But winning a championship here would be huge for the team. So let's get this contract signed and get our sights set on winning that Drivers' Championship. So a little bit of housekeeping and a couple more upgrades before we end the year off. So let's advance time and get that going. We have a successful fuel efficiency upgrade ready for next year, and a successful chassis upgrade for next season. We should actually start next year as the 5th or 6th best team in development, and even better possibly if the other teams didn't save all of their aerodynamics upgrades. But we'll figure that out at the first race of next season. So until then, guys, that's all I got. I'll see you next year in Bahrain. Goodbye.